everyone, and welcome to NameHero.com. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about our automatic SSL and how that works and how you get these free SSL certificates for your websites. And I also want to talk about SSL in general, just so you know what it is. So right now I'm on the main page of NameHero, and if you look in the address bar, you'll see the lock and it says secure, and you'll see HTTPS. So this means that we've got a valid secure certificate installed on the site. So why is this important? Well, first off, if you're selling goods or services on your website, then this is required to be able to accept credit card transactions and other sensitive information. Your traffic, visitors, or customers will also feel much more safe and secure seeing this. Well, that's how it was for many years. But nowadays, here in 2018, Google actually puts priority on sites with secure certificates. And they announced that about 4 years ago. So it's almost half a decade that they've announced this. So now pretty much secure certificates, or SSL, is required for all websites. And that's why we make it free for all of our customers at NameHero. Regardless if you have a basic web hosting package with us, or cloud hosting, or a reseller account with us, or a VPS account with us, all your websites, all your subdomains will have an SSL certificate for free. Now, this is an automated process. We've integrated with the Let's Encrypt project. And this is an open source group that's worked together, and they've created this pool of SSL certificates that automatically generate and provide trust to the browsers such as Google Chrome. And this is completely acceptable to use for all your transactions and for your website. But there are some requirements that you need to do on your end to make sure the automatic module works. If I look back at our support tickets over the last 6 months, probably the top ticket is people confused about automatic SSL, how it works, why isn't it setting up on their website. So I wanted to do this video to explain to potential new customers as well as our existing customers how this works exactly and the requirements that need to be met by you on your end for your site to have the free and automatic SSL. And this also, once again, this does apply to our resellers who have sub-customers. So if you have one of our reseller accounts and your customers are hosting with you, they should also have SSL. So let me show you about these requirements. What I'm going to do is I'm logged into my account, and if you go back to our main page, click Account Login. That's how you get here. After you enter your username and password, you'll be brought to here. And from here, I'm going to go to a reseller package, an example package, and show you where to check it there, and then I'll show you where to check it in cPanel. So my example package is resellerhostingus.com. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to log into Web Host Manager. So this is how you can check, if you're a reseller, this is how you can check all your customers. Type in Manage SSL, and you can see Manage SSL Host comes up here on the left. We click it. And now these are all the websites hosted under your reseller account. You can see for me, in this specific account, I've got 1, 2, 3 different websites. And you can see Issuer, Let's Encrypt. So this lets me know, and I see the green lock by all these subdomains and domains, I know that it's got a valid SSL certificate and I'm good to go. Now, if you log in here and you see self-signed as the issuer, then there's a problem. The automatic SSL module did not run, and you do not have a valid SSL certificate. If that is the case, you go over here to Actions, and you click Delete to remove it. So if it's got a self-sign, you can delete it. Now, the module automatically attempts to replace self-signed certificates, but I feel like when you delete it, it actually signals it to go check it again. But if these two requirements that I'm about to state are not met, then it will not work. 1, your domain that's being used, that's being hosted, must be propagated with the name servers. So if you're a reseller, then the domain that wants the SSL must be using your reseller name servers, and it must be propagated. Sometimes, when you change hosting, it can take up to 24 hours for the DNS to propagate. So you want to give it a full 24 hours to make sure it has propagated. We have a free tool called DNSHero.com, and I'll just go to it. DNSHero.com, where you can check the DNS of your website and to make sure it's correct. So we'll check Reseller Hosting US as an example real quick. Whoops. So you can type your website in here into this tool, and you want to see no red. So you can see resellerhostingus.com, there's no red. So this means it's all synced up, there's no propagation errors, and it will issue. So that's the first requirement that needs to be met. The second requirement is your htaccess file has to be writable. So let me go into it for an example. Let's go to Reseller Hosting US and let's go into the cPanel. So from here, we want to go into our file manager and we want to go into www and we're looking for htaccess. Now you're not going to see it at first because you need to go to settings, show hidden files, .files, save, and this is the file you're looking for. The auto SSL module has to be able to write to this file. Now, if you've created one, that's fine. It's got to be writable though. Now, if I click edit on this, click edit, you can see that it's just a standard WordPress htaccess file. There's nothing custom in here. Now, that's fine. The SSL module will write to this, as you've seen. If you go to customizing your htaccess file, it could interfere with the auto SSL module. So if you're not getting an SSL certificate on your website, try renaming your htaccess file to something like htaccess1, click rename, and then give it 24 hours. The SSL module will run at that point. Once that's ran, then you can rename this again back to htaccess. Now note, this could break your site if you're using htaccess to write different URL structures of your site. So you have to kind of monitor that closely. But if you're adding if you're changing the structure of htaccess, then it doesn't know where to write. The SSL module creates a folder in here called well known or period well-known. If you go into here, you're going to see acme-challenge, and then you're going to see nothing in here. But it creates that, and it writes a file to that to verify the domain is active. That's how everything gets validated. But for some reason, if your domain cannot write to htaccess, if it cannot write to this folder, it will fail. So you have to make sure that those conditions are met. If after you delete your self-signed certificate inside of here, let me go back. After you delete your self-signed certificate, as long as the DNS is propagated, as long as it can write to htaccess, it should generate. So before reaching out to support, make sure those items have been done to see if this gets to working for you. And this way it makes it easier on our team as well as you, because then you won't get frustrated and have to ask each time. Now, if for some reason it's not possible to rename your htaccess file or you can't write to it, we still offer SSL certificates for $29.95 a year. Those are premium SSL certificates, and those are manually generated. And so if for some reason you say, well, Ryan, I cannot rename my htaccess file, it's not going to work for me, or I can't give the app permission to do that, that's fine. If you still need SSL, then we can do a premium certificate for $29.95 a year. So I wanted to put that out there because seeing a lot of that. Now, if you have a basic hosting account with us, then you just check inside of cPanel. So, and you can also tell your customers this as well. So right now from Reseller Hosting US, I'm going to click log into cPanel, and I'll show you where this is. So you can type in SSL here, and you can click SSL TLS, manage or generate, view, upload, and delete SSL certificates, and you can see issuer Let's Encrypt here. So you can see that the Let's Encrypt is also inside of here. And you can see there's one for resellerhostingus.com here. So it's self-signed, so I could delete that. And so when it comes back around, it's going to write that with Let's Encrypt. But notice you can't click install in here. That does not work. We don't have that enabled because it's automatic. There's no installation to it. It automatically runs as long as the DNS is propagated, as long as it can write to htaccess. It will automatically run, and you can just check in here to see that Let's Encrypt has ran. So you can see here it's got a self-signed here, so you could delete that if you wanted it because you don't need it. You don't need the self-signed ones in there. You can delete this one here as well. Delete it. And you can see if we go to Reseller Hosting US, if I type in HTTPS, I get a secure certificate. And I get the lock. Now, here's something else that's important with Auto SSL. Just because I have the certificate does not mean that my website's going to automatically use it. If you're using WordPress, then you need to make some changes on your end. There's a plugin called Really Simple SSL, and you can just Google it like I did. And you can install this plugin into your WordPress, and it will automatically make sure that your URLs are written correctly, so you get the green lock or the secure lock at the top. You can see WordPress.org, of course, they're secure as well. So if you're not seeing that secure lock once you do have a certificate, you need to make sure that you're adding HTTPS and you need to make sure that all the elements on the page are using HTTPS. Once again, if you're using WordPress, you can easily do it with really simple SSL. If you're not using WordPress, then you need to either consult your developer or just check it out yourself if you know HTML. Just make sure all the elements are secured, and make sure that you're calling the URL actually from HTTPS. If you're not seeing it as well, you can right-click, inspect in Google Chrome, and you can click on console, and this will tell you here as well. If it's not, it'll tell you what's going on here and why it's not showing. So that's just some friendly tips there to make sure, because even though the certificate's generated, your website won't use it unless you tell it to use it. So you have to manually go in and actually say, okay, I'm going to call the site at HTTPS. And I'm going to make a blog post kind of detailing everything in this video, and I'll put some code that you can put in your htaccess file as well if you're a little bit more advanced to making sure that your pages are secured and redirect to HTTPS. But that's important to note, just because it's important to note that just because the website has a secure certificate, it will not use it unless you tell it to do so. But that's how Auto SSL works. It's probably by far the most sought after feature here at NameHero, or one of the most sought after features, because most providers do charge upwards of like $100 a year for SSL still. Like I said, we still offer a premium SSL certificate for $29.95 a year for those that can't write to htaccess, or those that the Auto SSL is not working for because of their code. But most of our customers, I would say 99.9% of them, use the Auto SSL without any issue, as long as what I've said, the conditions are met. So let us know if you have any questions. If you have any troubles, just reach out. We'd be more than happy to help. It's always our pleasure serving you. We feel like by offering these free and automatic certificates, we are creating a safer network that allows us to offer more reliability, more redundancy, even better uptime, and of course, a secure internet for everyone. So that's just something we're doing here at NameHero.com. Thanks everyone for watching.